Hey guys, this is Projekt. Coming at you with a little bit of details regarding the Hearthstone update. There's actually some details released on the Battle.net forums today regarding the changes to Hearthstone and some of the cards and some of the other things that are doing it. So I'm going to kind of quickly go over them and kind of go over my thought process on it. So the first thing that's changed is the amount of gold by winning games in play mode per day will be capped at 100 in the upcoming patch. So yeah, Jane is not too happy about that. What they're doing is, so the maximum amount of gold you can get per day just by simply playing is 100 gold. So that's enough for a pack. I don't think it's a big deal for most people. I think it's a big deal for a lot of the people that I wouldn't say don't have anything better to do, but maybe put 8 hours or 10 hours of this game a day. If you log on for 30 minutes to an hour a day, it's not a big deal. But it doesn't affect gold earned through quests, arena, or achievements. So it's literally just by playing the game. But the biggest thing that we really want to kind of talk about is the card balance. So one of the biggest changes is the Shattered Sun Cleric. So one of the things that actually are being kind of changed regarding this is the Shattered Sun Cleric. Currently, the battle cry gives it a 1/1 or a minion 1/1, which is a good thing. What they're doing is they're actually changing the health to 2. So this health right here is actually going to be changed to 2, but nothing else can be changed about it. I think that this is okay. 3/3 was a 3/3 without any kind of flavor text is still really strong, but changed to 3/2. It still has this battle cry. It's still a pretty decent hitter. I think there might be some change, or I think there might be definitely some changes to it, but I think it's still a good card. It's just not as good. So some of the changes being taken away from it. The other change is the Argent Commander. The Argent Commander is a really strong card currently. What it does is it has a charge ability on it, and it has Divine Shield. So another thing that they're doing is they're doing a change very similar to the Shattered Sun Cleric. They're actually reducing its health to 2. So it still has charge, it still has Divine Shield. It's just things are going to be able to deal with it a little bit easier, and that's a good or that's an okay thing. It was for 6 mana. I think the balance from it is that it's a strong card because it hits for 4 and it has charge, right? And it could very well have the ability to hit or attack twice. And it still has the 2-for-1 kind of element to it. It almost takes 2 things to deal with it, especially if you can keep the Divine Shield intact. So it still has that. It just allows lower type of minions to be able to handle it. So anything that attacks for 2. So I'm still going to run this card in my deck. I'm not gonna change it too much, but I think they're balancing it in the right way. The other kind of change they're doing right now is the Flame Imp for Warlocks. And what they're doing is they're actually changing the amount of damage that the Flame Imp does. It does 2 damage to your hero right now. What it's going to do is it's going to do 3 damage to your hero. So right now it does about 7.5% of your life damage to you. Now in the next patch it's going to do 10% of your health to you. So on turn 1, it might be kind of dangerous to have even one of these, or maybe you coin and put 2 of these guys out. So if you're running an aggro, like a hardcore aggro deck with Warlock, you definitely want to consider that, because if you put 2 of these out on like turn 1 or 2 and 2, you're going to do 6 damage to yourself just innately. So unless these imps could do 2 damage on their own, you're not going to be able to get the cost out of it. So those cards are being adjusted, but those cards are the new things that are being adjusted, right? So Shattered Sun Cleric and Argent Commander, their health's being lowered. Flame Imp, the amount of damage being done is going to be increased. So nerfs across the board, and I think those are reasonable nerfs. Kind of sad, don't want to see that, but it's going to be doing okay. Some of the other big changes that they talked about in BlizzCon was adjusting this little son of a bitch right here, which is mind control, right? So what they're going to be doing is they're actually going to be upping the cost of mind control. Currently it's 8, but now it's going to be 10 mana, which I think is a good change from what it's currently doing. 8 mana, it's really, really strong. You put out any kind of legendary and they take it and you can heal it or still have some mana left over. So I think if you're going to mind control something, it needs to be taxing. It needs to needs to be quite a bit. I still think it needs some adjustments, like it needs to be like an enhancement or something you could spell or something else like that. But having it be 10 mana is in the right direction. I hope they do that with Pyroblast pretty soon. Starving Buzzard is also being changed in Hearthstone. What they're doing is they're kind of doing the same thing to the other cards, like they said. They're actually, this is really fuzzy. Whenever you summon Beast or All card, they're actually reducing it to 1 HP. They're trying to make it not as strong. They said that it was kind of strong against druids, mages, and rogues. I don't understand how they got to that reasoning. I mean, they actually revealed this at BlizzCon. But they actually said that it was really, really strong against those type of heroes. I could see it kind of being strong against druids, but for rogues and mages, I don't understand where they're coming from that. But it's just going to make it really easy to kind of deal with. You can literally 1 damage, so a mage can ping it, a rogue can attack it and just be fine. I think Starving Buzzard, the use of Starving Buzzard is definitely going to be reserved more now towards the end game. And we'll talk about Unleash the Hounds in just a second. But it's not going to be something you're going to play naked on like turn 1 or turn 2. It's something that you're going to use as part of a combo without actually being in a combo. Now the other change to Hearthstone is going to be Unleash the Hounds. This card is a pain in the ass, and if you're a mage that doesn't play this, then you're doing it wrong. So currently what it's going to be doing is it gives your beast +1 attack and charge. So what they're doing now is they're actually rechanging it. So it's 4 mana now, so change this mana cost to 1 or to 4. And for each enemy minion you have on the board, summon a 1/1 hound with charge. So that's definitely a rework of this ability. It's not going to be a 1-turn kill anymore, and kind of what they're doing is they're definitely nerfing that, but it kind of changes the way that Unleash the Hounds is going to work. You know, you might read that and just be like, Unleash the Hounds is garbage, get rid of it, right? But I'm thinking of a combo where you might not have anything on the board, but at that point you can start getting yourself a lot of ability. So let's say that you put out a Starving Buzzard, right? This is like with 8 mana, so you have 2 mana. You put down, maybe a Timberwolf, right? So that gives beasts +1 damage. Okay. You draw a card, You maybe put out 1 or 2 other kind of little small minions, and then you put out Unleash the Hounds for 4 mana. So you've got 8 mana. You use 4 mana on minions, and then you have Unleash the Hounds. Unleash the Hounds summons maybe 2 or 3 additional minions that you draw cards from. And let's say that you attack or charge into something. Maybe you have a Starving Hyena. That's one of the cards that you play or that you currently have on the board. And every single beast that attacks, it increases the Hyena by 2 attack and 1 health. So I've kind of seen that being a little bit different, or maybe doing the Cascade kind of thing where, you have that, that Direwolf Alpha, and then every single charge that you have next to it has, 2 attack, 2 attack, 2 attack. So you kind of, I think it's a decent change. It might be a little high on the mana cost, maybe, but I kind of want to see how it works with some of those other decks we talked about, like the Laughing Hyena and Starving Buzzard and things like that. So I think it'll be a fun change. So overall, definitely nerfs across the board. I don't think anything was buffed. Unleash the Hounds is definitely reworked, and until we actually see it in action, I don't want to put any kind of scariness to it, but I really want to see how it works. So that's kind of how Hearthstone's going to go with the next patch. If you disagree with anything I said, please let me know in the comments. I want to tell you how you're wrong. And if you like what you saw, subscribe and follow me on my other things. Peace.